What were the most challenging parts to write? What were the most enjoyable parts to write?
Yeah, so I think I'll start with the most enjoyable. I love atmosphere and setting and really multisensory details. So it was fun for me to write that. The description of the tree house, they all have the different coworkers have different interesting forms of lodging that are off the grid. There's a caravan, there's a yurt, there's the tree house. That was really fun for me to write, to the point where my agent and editor were like, you need to scale back on the setting stuff. Like, you need to cut it in half, do some major trimming. So I had to like reluctantly go through and cut that, but I knew I was going to have to do it. So that was probably the funnest to do. And I always remember like all the different meals. My French mom, so she's my host family mom. I was remembering all the amazing meals that she would make. And I have a
Yeah,
friend who is a wine expert in France. And so I
nice.
had her read the book and she did all the wine pairings for each of the meals.
Perfect.
It was so much fun. As far as the most challenging part, I would say it had to do with the pacing. So you were mentioning like kind of the slow build beginning. I found it really challenging in my early drafts. Everything happened like the last 50 pages. My agent and editor were like, okay, you can't expect people to stay with you for 275 pages. And you need to move some of that, some
Yeah.
of that kind of like really distinct, creepy, dangerous stuff. Like you need to move it forward. So I had to do some rearranging and I had to really think carefully about what could I put like in the middle of the book that wouldn't make her like just get the heck away. So that was probably the most challenging, was the pacing, since this is a genre blend. So I needed to have some
Yeah.
basic romance beats in there, like some conflict in their romance, and but then that attraction. And then I had to have, there were almost some thriller aspects and horror aspects. So it was a challenge to like blend these genres together using a pace that would be satisfying to readers.